Yeah, man. How are you doing though?
Thank you very much. I'm pressing forward, one day at a time. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
We got a
And
very special guest coming up in a few minutes with us. This is Labor Day, and I just don't know why it hit me this year to do this. We should have taken Labor Days in the past and did this special message from one of our labor leaders. We've had some good ones from my
mhm.
godfather, John Jeffries, right on down the line with
Uh-huh.
the good folks that are part of the labor movement. And we certainly have with us today the president of the Baltimore Metropolitan Council of the AFL-CIO. He'll be with us in a few minutes. And what we're going to
Mhm.
do, family, is let you and I hear from one of the leaders as to what is the status of labor in 2025, and what direction are they going? And I was told they just had a successful tour that they conducted this past Thursday around various labor sites and to do whatever is necessary to inspire and encourage. So we'll have Courtney Jenkins with us in just a moment. Mark, what's local issues? Anything pressing?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, let me say this. We got to send our condolences out, Larry, because we had a murder suicide in the county. The guy sound like Indian name. He murdered his wife and small child, and murdered himself because the wife had filed for divorce.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man, we definitely got it. I think the child was like 6 or something like that, man. But on a good note, you was talking about labor. Um, I read where black women and I talked to you about this before. Black women businesses, man. The black women are really doing and being innovative in the business world here in Baltimore.
All
And
right.
5-time draft dodging coward, 34 count convicted felon, um, President Bone Spurs. That's how he got out of serving this country because him and his father came up with that. Um, he is still trying to disparage our governor. I want to challenge him to just have a sit down meeting, man to man, with our governor, like our governor said, and talk to him about the issues. Let's do that, Trump.
All righty. That it?
No. Also, Larry, and I talked to you about this before, man. About school. About them putting school back in August. Let me say this, man. We was out in McCullough Homes last Monday, and there was a young lady out there, man. She didn't go to school. And Larry, I've talked to you so many times about Tim Toots saying it's 15,000 homeless students here in Maryland and thousands right here in Baltimore. And this young lady didn't go to school the first week, like a lot of young people, because she didn't have the book bag and all that kind of stuff. And we talked about, like, me being a teacher's aide for 3.5 years, we would go back the week before Labor Day. You would go back, and the checks would come out for kids that was foster kids and all that kind of stuff, or whoever was on a fixed income. You would take advantage of the Labor Day um, sales, and then you would go back right after Labor Day, like our youngest grandson is doing today. And that is so important, Larry, because people don't have, they miss the first week of school, man. Children are missing the first week of school because parents don't have money and stuff like that, man. And that's a really, really big issue, man. And I'm saying I wish that we would move to take school back like it was back to right after Labor Day, and I think that would help the students because, like I said, we went back the week before.
All right.
We
Well,
helped.
that's going to have to be done by parents taking the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to express themselves to their city
Yes, sir.
council and to the mayor.
Yes, sir.
And that can be done, but it's going to take people who feel as you do strong
Yes,
enough
sir.
to take the action to get it done. But okay, all right, very good. Uh, we'll get back
And we
together.
was able to give her a book bag full of stuff.
Yes, I remember you telling me about that. That's all right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we'll get back together in a few minutes. I just want to quickly get over to our special guest. I did want to say that this is something that I hope we can make continual starting on Labor Day, and how fortunate we are to have with us the president of the Metropolitan Baltimore Council, AFL-CIO unions, and that is Mr. Courtney Jenkins. Mr. President, Mr. Jenkins, sir, we're going to let you have the opportunity to give it. All right, thank you there. And we want you to have the opportunity to speak to your members, but also to the city of Baltimore. Please, right ahead, sir.
Well, good morning, Senator Young. Good morning, Baltimore, and all the listeners listening right now and those watching the live stream. Again, happy Workers' Labor Day. This is Courtney Jenkins, the president of the Metropolitan Baltimore AFL-CIO Central Labor Council. We represent over 100 local unions, close to 80,000 union members across this greater metropolitan area. That includes Baltimore City and the 6 surrounding counties. And we were out here talking about freedom, fairness, and security for working families this Labor Day holiday. This is more than just a weekend to have a cookout or get together with family and friends or catch that big sale. This is a week where we honor the workers who made the ultimate sacrifice so we can enjoy this time off. Remember, labor unions, our organizations brought you the weekend, brought you the holidays that you have off now today, right? And brought you that 8-hour workday that we all celebrate on today.
So, right. Yeah, come think about it. That's what we do have to say thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And so we are delivering a message that is about freedom, fairness, and security. We are reimagining what this holiday looks like. And we are reclaiming that from the billionaires and the CEOs and the ultra wealthy who just think that this is another day for us to spend money and pad their pockets. And so when we talk about freedom, we're talking about the freedom for workers to be able to come together, use their collective voice in the workplace, and bring democracy to that workplace. When we talk about security, we're talking about the security that when you work for the majority of your life, that one day you can walk away with your head held high and have all of your material and emotional needs met because you dedicated life to work. And when we talk about fairness, we're talking about the fairness that comes from that good union contract to make sure that the playing field is level for workers and the people who make this country run the most. Want to make sure we shout out our labor unions on this Labor Day holiday. And again, over 100, so we will be here all day shouting them out. But again, we represent everything from your sanitation workers to your electricians, your postal workers, federal employees, teachers, you name it, they're part of this umbrella. And if you have a boss, our opinion is that you need a union. I would really want to just talk about the times that we're in right now. And as you all know, workers are under attack. But let me remind the listeners that you don't attack things that you don't deem as being strong. And this administration right now is holding no cards, and they're trying to pull out all the stops because they know that typically in the history of this nation, it has been working people when they come together to stop the shift that we're seeing happen right now from this administration in DC. So again, you can't talk about you appreciate working families and you support working families when your goal is to cut hundreds of thousands of federal workers from the payrolls, to make it harder for us as citizens to get the benefits that we deserve and that we worked hard for. So again, when you're attacking institutions like the Social Security Administration, it's not just about the workers, it's about the people who these workers service, because they all took an oath to be civil servants and not play political games with people's benefits. Senator Young, you and I and everyone in this building and everyone probably listening has paid into Social Security, knowing that one day we will reap the benefits of what we paid for, to have the security again, to not be disparate after we worked our entire lives. And what this administration is saying is, look, you got to come kiss the ring if you want your benefits, right? You got to make sure you take these oaths and pledge your loyalty to us. And our workers are pushing back as hard as they can, but we need the listeners out here to help us push back, to join us in these fights, right? To when you're done with your cookout today, to get on the phone to your congressional representatives, to ask them to pass legislation that protects things like collective bargaining agreement, especially for our federal employees. Because every day we see the attacks from this administration. We see them ripping the collective bargaining rights from folks that work at the Veterans Administration. So, Mr. Senator, how can you care about veterans, people who put their lives on the line to protect democracy, when you're cutting the institutions and the organizations and the spaces that make sure they're taken care of, right? How can you care about workers when you're cutting the institutions and spaces that make sure workers are safe on the job? And we know all too well what that lack of safety means for workers in Baltimore City. We lost 2 brothers last year because of a lack of safety in the workplace. So here this president comes and says, working people care about me. I'm the most popular president when it comes to workers, and they can't access what they need to make sure that their families are safe. Mr. Senator, there's a lot that we can talk about, right? And there's much more that we could sit here and talk about. But again, we want to make sure that we are action oriented. We want to make sure that we bring joy to workers in the workplaces, right? In these cities that Trump is now attacking, including our sister city of Washington, D.C., we know that what will be down there will try to come up here. But I want to send a message to this administration. Baltimore is a city of neighborhoods and communities. And when those communities band together, there's nothing that we cannot do. So instead of calling this beautiful place that's been my home and has been our home for my entire life a hellhole, come and see the beauty of Baltimore. Come and see how crime rates have been at the historic lows because of a young, gifted Black man that is our mayor, named Mayor Brandon Scott. These things don't just happen overnight. They're intentional. And it's not about attacking our folks. It's about uplifting our folks and making sure that they have the opportunity. So, Senator, when we go out there and talk to people in the streets, because we are in the communities, one of the first things they say is, I need a job. I need that access to opportunity. I don't need more policing. I don't need a National Guard to come and help lower crime because we're doing it on our own. But what we need is that door to be opened because we know that stability that comes from that good job, right? That good union job. My personal experience, I would not be sitting before you today as a president of the Labor Council without having a good, stable union job, which brought stability to my family in a time where there was a lot of instability. And we know that too well. Many working families in Baltimore face so much instability, Mr. Senator. And when I found that good union job that guaranteed me 40 hours a week at work and vacation time and decent health care, and again, an opportunity to not have to worry if I needed to take time off to take care of myself or my loved one, I still have a job to come back to. And that's all really people are asking for, Mr. Senator. As organizers, when we talk to folks and try to get them to make the expectations of work become the reality, it's very rare that we hear workers say, I want to get rich or I want to become wealthy. They just want to be able to provide for their family, take a vacation when they need to. Again, go to the doctor and not be mounted with all this type of medical debt. Have access to quality education. And again, one day be able to retire with their heads held high. That's what this is all about. Freedom, fairness, and security, Mr. Senator.
I just want to remind folks if they can catch up with, and I'm sorry, family, I didn't tell you sooner. If you go to YouTube and press LY Morning Show, WLB 1010, you'll be able to see Mr. Jenkins live. It's being covered. We put the camera on it. We thought it was so important. We decided to go the extra mile today. So if you want to catch up with him, by all means, you can do that by going to your YouTube, LY Morning Show, WLB 1010, and catch up with him. So I paused him so he could finish up. But I'm sorry I didn't tell you that at the beginning.
No, that's okay, sir. And we appreciate the time. And Mr. Senator, I want to put this out there. 70% of the American people support organized labor unions, right? About 1 in 5 workers are immigrants, right? We have young people at 88%. 88% of young people between the ages of 18 to 35 support labor unions. So again, these attacks that we're seeing, no one has mandated the president to attack organized labor or working families, right? This is a vendetta that he has because he knows we stand in the gap, right? Organized labor, again, historically has been the only thing to shift the tide, to shift the dynamics of power. So when he knows he can attack our labor unions and make it harder for us to represent workers and again, make the expectations of work become the reality, he knows that he is on his way to creating this authoritarian regime that he's trying to create right now. But we won't stand for it, Mr. Senator. That's why we're out there in the streets. And we're going to do it peacefully, responsibly, right? But we're also going to send a message to this administration and anyone that wants to do working people harm, that we are the 99%, Mr. Senator, right? We are the folks who make this country move. We're the folks who built this country. And you can't have a nation without the working people that make this nation what it is today. So again, if you want to make America great, you invest in working people, right? You don't try to strip them of everything that they fought for. Because Mr. Senator, this holiday that we're celebrating today was fought for. It wasn't given to us, like many other things. And again, we know we must continue to stand up and protect it, no matter who's in office, whether it's someone who's very friendly to labor, like we just had in a previous president, or someone who's very hostile to labor. Labor is always going to stand there. The mission never changes, and that's to protect and advocate for working families and their unions.
Will labor be prepared for the big election of 2026?
Yes, sir. And we're already preparing as we speak. Our council itself, we're holding interviews with candidates. And what we're telling them is that we're looking for folks who are going to do what's right and not what's convenient. Right? If that means that you have to put your reelection on the line, so be it. Because working people are sacrificing so much more. And to them, it's not about a vote. It's about who's going to advocate on their behalf in these halls of government. Right? It's about when you hear these Republicans on the other side of the aisle, all we need is a few to join our fight. I look up and I see those Republicans doing what's convenient and not what's right. Right. And this is not a partisan issue because it's on all sides. Right. We're looking for folks who say, you know what? I'm not worried about being reelected. I'm worried about the people that voted me into office. And I'm telling a lot of our elected officials that if we heard you say that, you probably be okay. I can respect that, Mr. Senator. If you say, you know what? Yeah, you can try to primary me. Elon, you can say whatever you want on Twitter to try to get rid of me and put as much money as you want to. But you know what? I'm here to represent the people right now, not in 2026, not in 2028, not during the election cycle, but right now. And I would say Republican, Democrat, Independent, anything in between, you would gain a lot of my respect at least, right? If I knew that you were going to do what's right and not what's convenient.
I was watching earlier this morning one of the cable stations, and they were saying there was a Republican who was joining the Democrats on the Oversight Committee, demanding some information on the Epstein situation that Trump's going through. And he is being put up some opposition from the Republican Party against him. He's a Republican because of him taking the position of siding with the Democrats. And they already decided they're going to spend $20 million to go against him. Now, I have some friends who really don't like Trump, and they keep jumping down on him. But I come back and remind them that 13% of the black vote voted for Trump. I understand that there was at least 15% of Labor voted for Trump. So these folks, the Republican, the Labor folks and the black folks, that percentage, take those percentages away, we wouldn't have Trump. How are we going to be sure that we can convince that 13% and that 15%, y'all can't go that way again?
It's about education, sir. I mean, education and beyond the election cycle. We talk to our members during the election, after the election, the years in between, right? And it's making them see the causation, the cause and effect, right? So it's said when you vote, votes have consequences, right? When you vote, this is why people can't access the benefits that they hope to have access prior to Trump coming in. When you vote, this is why people are losing jobs left and right, because this president doesn't believe in things like clean energy and making sure people have good union jobs and project labor agreements and things that provide equity in the workplace, right? It's about educating our folks, not cascading them to the side, right? Not saying I told you so, but meeting them where they're at, which, as you know, Senator Young, that's what an organizer does every day. We meet our folks where they're at. I don't blame anyone, right? But I will educate them. We will sit down with them and we will let them know, hey, again, for every action, there's a reaction. And right now we're in this reactive phase where we're seeing what happened when we didn't all come together and band together, right? Because it's about fairness, freedom, and security for workers.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Do you, now what was the event that happened this past Thursday?
So thank you, sir. So on Thursday, we did a Labor on the Move, Labor Shuttle Bus Tour. So again, we're trying to reimagine what Labor Day is, and not just your cookout or your day off or you're catching that good sale. We brought the action to our people, again, meeting people where they are. So we did 3 different work site stops on Thursday. We started at a non-union out-of-state contractor site, which is getting state dollars, taxpayer dollars, to send our money out of state to folks who don't contribute to our local economy, and we called that out. They should have good union jobs on that site and good Maryland workers on that site. And right now it's going to a right to work state, which doesn't believe in what unions do and doesn't believe in equity. So we started there. Then we went to BWI Airport. So if you don't know, we represent hospitality workers under Unite Here, and they represent airline catering workers. So those are the folks that get your air flights ready, get your snacks on the airplane, make sure that we're comfortable. So they've been in negotiations for 7 years for a fair contract. These workers haven't received the wage since 2023. So we wanted to call out these airlines, and SkyChef, which is the company that the airlines contract with to provide these services, call them out to let them know that, again, fairness doesn't mean we're trying to get rich and wealthy. Fairness means that it shouldn't take 7 years to come to a collective bargaining agreement. And then we wrapped up at the Social Security Administration, We want to talk about security for working families, not just inside that building, but the people that are serviced, the millions of people across the country that are serviced by those folks. And we wrapped it up there. But again, we wanted to bring the message to the people, because we also know oftentimes working people are working, right? They can't get to everything because they're on the clock. So you said, we can't get to you. If you can't get to us, we're going to bring it to you, because that's what the union is all about. Each one reaching one.
Is there any particular activity that's coming up in the near future that you want to bring to the public's attention?
Well, absolutely. So today, of course, sir, we're encouraging everyone to go to aflcio.org, and you put your zip code in. There's a dozen actions happening across the metropolitan region as we speak. There's a rally going on downtown today. There are a couple of picnics going on in the area. So that's what we're really preparing for today. You know, again, just reach out to us. If you're in a workplace right now and you're like, I need a union, I need representation, reach out to the Metropolitan AFL-CIO. Reach out to the National AFL-CIO. Get with your coworkers. And again, make a list. List your expectations when you hit that clock, and then put the reality of what that workplace is, right? And again, you expect to come in and be treated with freedom, fairness, and security, to be treated with that dignity and respect. So what is the reality of that workplace? And call the organizer. Call us at the Metropolitan Baltimore Council, 410-242-1300, and we will connect you to an organizer to get you a voice in that workplace.
Wow. Yes, sir. Well, I trust that we've started something that we can continue for future, that Labor Day comes up. And of course, you don't wait for 365 days. You just do what he just said, call the number 242-1300 and get your 410. Make sure you get your information so you can be part of a great movement. And I want to certainly thank you and, of course, my labor advisors, Lena Redmond and Marietta English and Loretta Johnson, just to mention just a few, that constantly calling on the show from time to time and giving us some information. And you have an open invitation to come back anytime that you feel necessary to talk to us.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. And again, happy Labor Day to everyone. We're wishing everyone a very safe, peaceful, relaxing Labor Day today. And then don't forget, when you hit that clock tomorrow, remember who brought you that holiday.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I swear to goodness. All right. Thank you so much. Mark?
Hello?
Yes, sir. I think we did the right thing putting this Labor Day emphasis on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we did, Larry, and let me know if it's too much noise, man, because I'm driving. That's why I had myself muted. But look, check this out. When he talked about federal employees, this administration has been the most progressive administration in the history of the presidency, along with the Congress that's been complicit with him in firing hundreds of thousands of federal employees that contribute billions of dollars to the economy. And you know, Larry, I was talking to you about, I kept calling it Article 25, I guess because I'm a military man, and we had what you call Article 15. You ain't want to get one of them. But anyway, Maxine Waters said that we got to invoke is the amendment, the 25th Amendment of the Constitution that checks to see whether he's fit or not to be president. It's the 25th Amendment. Maxine Waters wants to invoke that, and I'm with it 100%, man, because he's not fit. He's not fit to run this country at all. What do you think?
No doubt. Well, as I shared with you, that's a good motion, but it has to be initiated by the members of the cabinet. And right now, I think those members of the cabinet are too scared to think about it. But I think Maxine Waters will put the issue in front of the public. We're going to let Mr. Jenkins get on with his schedule today. So thank you for coming this way, partner.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate all you do for organized labor.
I think I was just told my mic wasn't on. That's Sean. He's the best. Okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
We are going to thank you so much. Be safe out there on your schedule. And we've got a couple callers.
Yes, sir.
I'll go. Are we going to take that break right now, partner? Okay. Sean is telling me to go ahead. There we go.
Tyrone Taborn, Black Engineer of the Year, and STEM City Baltimore are proud to support this show. Discover your pathway to success at STEM City Baltimore, where opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and math come to life. Visit us at the Thurgood Marshall Amenity Center or online at www.stemcityusa.com and start your journey today in artificial intelligence, the metaverse, and the future. Don't be left behind.
Okay, let's go to the line, starting with Brother Cliff.
Hey, Larry, Grand Rising to you and to your co-host, Brother Mark, and to the WOLB family. Hey, listen, I want to also just say this and give recognition to our Black police officers in terms of labor, in terms of putting their lives on the line. I certainly want to give a shout out to them. Our Black police officers, man, throughout the country, both female and males. We in the Black community should give them the utmost support. The ones that do their best. And let me also bring this up, man. Has there ever been any closure to the detective that was Sean Suter? Is that his name? In 2000, he supposedly lost his life behind an alley, and the brother lost his life and got killed, and now they claiming it as a homicide. Did anybody ever close that case? Never determine how he lost his life?
You know, I don't think so, partner. That's a good question.
Unbelievable, because the reason why I bring that up, because in Chicago, right, as of this week, if you can Google it, there is a police officer. His name is Anthony Banks, and he's suing the Chicago PD in terms of racial discrimination, intimidation, the whole 9 yards. And what this brother did was, there was an incident in March in which this brother tried to de-escalate. I repeat, de-escalate. I'll say it one more time. De-escalate a situation where a police officer got physical with a pregnant woman, and all this brother did was just stepped in to de-escalate it. That's what professionalism is when the police department.
All right.
And this brother, man, was attacked by white co-workers with racial slurs. Also, there was a picture of a old cartoon where a black man had a gun in his mouth, and that was sent to him by his co-workers. He was certainly harassed, had to take time off because of the harassment, only because this brother man stood up to protect a particular female in reference to the abuse and harassment coming from his co-workers. So the point I'm making is that I salute all the Black police officers. Not only do they put their lives on the line to protect our community, but they also are faced and challenged with white co-workers and the racism that exists. This is what we're dealing with in today's society. Thanks for taking my call, brother.
Appreciate it. We're going to continue on. We're going to hear from Bill Jean and Marvin. But before we do, we've got a young fellow who I sensed was going to be making a major contribution to our community, and he's showing me that he's ready to do it strong. He was doing it as a community activist, and now Sean Stinnett, are you with me, partner? Sean?
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good. So how you doing, good fellow?
I'm good. I'm good on this. And allow me to first say, happy Labor Day to all. This is a day that we recognize the hard work and the struggles and the commitment and dedication with our labor workers across the country.
Why don't you tell the folks, listen, you've been out there putting you and your family, you've been committed to our community for years, and now you serve in the position of delegate. I was fortunate enough to that there was an opening in the 41st district, and I was fortunate enough to actually get the majority votes from the 41st State Central Committee, and then to have the governor officially appoint me in the position in February, and got sworn in March. And you're not wasting any time. taking the job on as seriously as I know you will do. What was the
Yes.
reason for your call today?
Well, I had talked to brother Mark there, and then I just wanted to, say hello and just say, hello in this capacity. Of course, I've always been on your show and spoke to you, and of course, our late great friend Coach throughout the years. But of course, I just wanted to sort of introduce myself in this new capacity as delegate for the 41st district.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Is there anything that you have on your plate that you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, well, one, we're all, our Team Stinnett has already been doing some door knocking within the district, as well as I'm going to be giving my official announcement this Saturday, September the 6th, at 3 o'clock over at the Franklin Town Inn, which will, like I mentioned, which will give my official announcement and is also carried as a fundraiser as well.
Mark, you trying to say something?
Yeah, Larry, could you hear me? Because we couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear him on this end.
Excuse me?
We couldn't hear him on this end.
I don't know. I don't know why. I got he's on the same line that you're on. Okay.
I mean,
well, let him finish his
did
report.
everybody else hear?
I assume so, but
Okay.
Sean is saying yes.
Well, I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
All right.
We got everything working?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay. We're just double checking to make sure we got the best producer in the city. So go right ahead. Go right ahead, Delegate.
Yes. So just to repeat, we have a fundraiser this Saturday on September the 6th at 3 o'clock. It's going to be at the Franklin Town Inn in the back area. And that's where also it's not only a fundraiser, also I'm going to give my official announcement as far as running for the position. Of course, right now I'm finishing out 2 years of a 4-year term, but I'm actually already filed to actually put my name in the hat as far as to get an additional 4 years to run, officially run for the position June 2026.
Absolutely. By all means, do so.
Yes.
Well, all right. Well, again, that's just coming Saturday, family, at 3 o'clock. And location one more time, partner.
The location is the Franklin Town Inn at 5201 Franklin Town Road over in the 41st District.
Give me the 4 major areas of the 41st District, because most of the people are listening coming from all over the metropolitan area here. So what 4 basic, because there's too many lines to give everything. Just basically you're from what to north, south, east, and west.
Yeah, it really give everybody an idea. We're sort of the Baltimore City County line on the northwest, southwest area of Baltimore City, from like Roland Park all the way to our more southern end as far as Irvington. So we have Emerson Village, Uplands. We have, like I mentioned, Roland Park, West Arlington, Howard Park, Grove Park, and even the Upper Park Heights area as far as Falstaff, Cheswold, and so forth. So it's very large. It's probably the largest district in the city. But like I mentioned, that we pretty much border that city-county line.
There you go. And he only been on the job since March. Already got his boundaries worked out in his neighborhood groups too.
Yes,
that's all right,
yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
So by all means, say hello to your lovely wife, and thank you for joining in. And as you see a need to come and talk with us, this is the line for you to call. All right.
I definitely will. She's right here. I'll let her know. And then I'll see you this evening. We had bought tickets for tonight's 4 o'clock show at the Universal Circus, because, we're always there to support you and the great.
By all means, I got to make sure I tell that to the ringmaster. Thank you so much,
yes,
good brother. See you now. Have a
all
safe
right, thank
one.
you. See you then.
All right.
You too. Bye-bye. Thanks, Mark. Bye-bye.
Let's go ahead and pick up Bill. Bill? Bill? Bill?
Can you hear me?
Now
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. My favorite labor and union leader, Lena, told me to make sure I listen in today. So, I just want to tell Lena that I'm listening. And Larry, I believe in unions because you'd rather be on a job with a union than without a union.
That's right.
Right? So the union is like some sort of insurance, so I encourage people to please, try to make sure that you are, if your job don't have a union, you need to reach out and make that call. But I guess my question, I'm going to just end with this, Larry, because I know time is short. My question would have been to the brother is that, I understand about the peaceful protests and everything else that we need to do, but I'm saying what Donald Trump and them doing is going to get beyond peaceful. So what do we prepare our people for? Or how do we prepare our people to say, listen, y'all, I know we don't want to say this, but we're moving towards a civil war or something, and we're going to have to take some different type of actions. Then I guess I'm just kind of perplexed because very few people want to say that, but I just don't see where this thing can end peaceful, Larry. Do you?
I'm very troubled by it, partner, to tell you the truth. I know Martin Luther King said what he was able to do to the nonviolent, and that's how I'm going to play that card as well. But I have to tell you, your concerns are not being spoken just by Bill. I hear it from a lot of folks, a lot of people saying we're just going to end up if something is not done soon. And I just believe that for right now, my godfather was telling me just yesterday that we got to concentrate on 2026. If we can take the House, we can stop him. If we can take the House and the Senate, we can flatten his tires and he can't move. So go ahead.
But I'm going to just say this, Larry, and I'm going to call in this Monday so we can have more time.
Okay.
So but we're in a position we may be able to afford it. We can wait to 2026. If Donald Trump and them do what they're trying to do, and they can kind of rig this election or even stop the elections, then 2026 is not going to mean nothing. So I'm saying, where do we go right now when this man talking about coming to Chicago, coming to Baltimore, riding these here cities, you know what I'm saying? Then what do we do in terms of pushing back? We can't say we're going to push back, but then you just try to push back peacefully and it don't work. So what other options do people have to push back?
Well, I'll be honest with you, partner. I don't know what else to say at this point. I hear you when you're saying if he gets done what he can do between now and November, he could do a lot of destructive things, and we just have to stay persistent about bringing what those destructive things are. We've got one station, I think that's MSNBC, and now they're ready to change that. NBC sold that station, and I'm hoping that the new station will still have the same philosophical belief that MSNBC, and now they're going to call it MS Now. But I'm hoping the commitment to giving out good information and what tracking and keeping factually information out on what Trump is doing will be done. But I tell you, partner, we have to believe that we got to wait to 26 in order to see if we can take that House back, and based on some late developments, take that Senate back. We take
Can I say one more quick thing there?
Sure. Go ahead.
Then I wish that, some of our wealthy people and people that got money, I wish they would get some warehouses, stock up with some water, some food, and some weapons, because if something break out, then I think that people need to know that they could go somewhere and get some weapons to help fight, because I just don't see no other way. But I just want to end with that.
Okay, partner, I understand.
Yeah.
Brother Bill talked about Chicago being one of the spots. And let me just say this, and I really am getting family, the people of Chicago, I support the governor's position out there. I even support the mayor's position out there, putting an executive order in place telling the Chicago police you will not cooperate with the federal National Guard or any other forces of the federal government to do anything that's not in the good interest of the citizens of Chicago. But doggone it, what in the hell are they doing out there? Somebody better get the word to these gangs and whatnot. Your governor and your mayor are standing up saying, "No, Trump, you will not come into Chicago. You will not do this in Chicago." No other mayor in the whole country, except this one because he's the one that's being targeted right now, has said, "I will sign an executive order telling the Chicago police you will not cooperate with the National Guard or other federal forces regarding the citizenry of Chicago." And the governor says to him, "I know what you're trying to do, man. You're trying to be disruptive. You want to be disruptive so you can put the National Guard in place and stop the elections or slow the elections down for 2026. But at the same time, doggone it, somehow or another, the word has got to get to the streets. If y'all don't play your cards right, this man will have the national authority to come in and put the National Guard up in there past 30 days. And then what do you have? For your own purpose. And yet this weekend, 7 murders, 50 shootings. 7 murders and 50 shootings. What are you doing in Chicago? You can't say to the country, it's it's going down. Okay, yes, it's going down. But if you had 500 and some last year, you only got 350 now. That's 350 now. Come on.
Right. That's
Chicago, you gotta, you're hurting yourself. The people of Chicago, you gotta find a way. Stop this mess of doing what you. Come on, I've never heard a governor speak the way this governor has told the Trump administration. And I've never heard a mayor say, "I'm signing an executive order telling my police department you're not to cooperate with the federal government in any way, shape, or form that's derogatory to my city." But they're doing their job. They're on their job 24/7. But the citizenry, y'all got to put these weapons down. You got to put this brutality down. Otherwise, you're going to find Trump's going to get persuaded. And the people are going to say, "Come on back in here another 30 days. And he'll come back another 30 days. And pretty soon you'll have the National Guard running your city's security system." Think about that, family. Think about that. You're putting your own self in trouble. Let me hear from Jason. Jason?
Peace and blessings, Senator. Good morning. Grand Rising. Great program, by the way. I'm just a little dismayed at what's going on with a lot of the cable news channels. Although I did have some issues with them and how they were reporting, because it seemed like it was all Trump news all the time, whether it was controversial, whether it was factual. It seemed like there was no other subject matter. You see that recently, Senator, Trump has looked at attacking the licenses, the FCC licenses of NBC and ABC. And he's, from what I understand, has been looking at other media groups as well. Of course, those media groups that continue to criticize him and call him out and keep him accountable, and in many cases are asking for accountability when it comes to, this information in reference to this pedophile, and getting this information out to the public, so that the public understands his particular part in this particular child sex ring, which we know he may have, we'll say allege, had associations, with this gentleman. I think you're going to see more attack on the media, Senator, and even in some cases, local radio like our programs on these airwaves are definitely very susceptible to Donald Trump's administration and his FCC board. So we have to be cautious, be aware, be on alert. But I'm kind of a little dismayed at what's taking place because I'm hoping that most of these cable news networks are not moving, Senator, because they're being influenced by this administration as opposed to being accountable. You know, that's part of the fascist playbook, you know, is to control the media. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful of that. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Yep. 11:30 today, right?
Yes, sir. We'll
There
be
you go.
speaking to Chris
Okay.
Papps. We'll be speaking to Chris Papps, who just wrote a book called Failure Factory, talking about the
right.
Baltimore City school system. Yep.
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
thank you, partner. All right. Tell me, I just wanted to let you know that I got word that the last two shows of the circus going on right now at Security Square Mall of the Universal Soul Circus is going to cost, tickets are going to be $25. But the last two
Oh,
shows,
wow.
12 o'clock and 4 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock shows. If you go now to get your ticket, you can go and get tickets for $25. You can't beat it. Go and see a spectacular show for $25, but your tickets are only the last two shows, one at 12 and one at 4 o'clock today. $25. Make your way, get yourself the tickets. All right, let me see here. All right, well, we got 10 minutes. So we got 9 minutes. So let me go through it real fast and get everyone to share their thoughts, starting with Gene. Gene?
Yeah, happy Labor Day, everybody.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, everybody, I'm literally, everybody who's in a labor union, who's part of the labor movement in the rest of the world celebrates Labor Day on May 1st, except here in the United States. So that's the question. Why? Why do we celebrate it on September the 1st?
On the
Because
first Monday
it's been
the first Monday of September.
Monday of September. Why do we celebrate it then? And how do we celebrate it? What we do is just like Black Friday, any other commercial holiday, it's been co-opted from the unions in the United States of America. Why? Because of its communist and socialist connection.
I don't think
Because
that that's
America's
the
always
case, Gene. But based on what Mr. Courtney Jenkins told us, they're doing a lot of good stuff. They went out yesterday on Thursday.
but nobody's celebrating it. They having barbecues and picnics and going shopping. They're not interested in the labor.
That's what he just spoke about. He was saying
that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to bring the emphasis to, and I agree with him.
And that's what
the emphasis should be on that, but it can be on that if we celebrate it on Labor Day, which is May 1st.
I'm not worried what the nation doing as long as we have a labor.
I know you're not, Larry, but that's a part of the problem because we're not worried about it.
No. I'm not worried about it because they do have a Labor Day. The labor unions got started. My godfather was
what did Walter Reuther say in Jobs and Labor at the March on Washington? He spoke second to time-wise to Martin Luther King. This is what he in A. Philip Randolph. This is what they were talking about: the labor movement and how the labor movement could move our race forward. But again, if we don't ally ourselves with the rest of labor throughout the world, that's my point. It's not, so much that what the young man came on and said. He's absolutely correct. But again, we have to ally ourselves with the rest of the world, workers of the world.
Listen, I'm just happy that we have a Labor Day. I'm happy we've got.
But you be happy, Larry. But be happy, and Donald Trump is going to win again. So.
Well, that's now you can share your thoughts that way if you want to. Let's see who we got. Marvin.
Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Good morning.
Hey, first thing first, Donald Trump ain't going to win again because he's going to be so old he wouldn't be able to walk again. So that man just said that he might as well kill that conversation quick.
Thank you.
But anyway, this is what I want to say, Larry. If it's crime in your city, and you as a person have came to this radio show and told everybody in the nation that you had crime and you had bodies dropping and people dying, and you've been talking that mess from then till now, like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, I've been on the radio show about maybe, let's say about 10 years now. And the whole time I've been on there, I've been hearing about all the cities with crime in it. And guess what? They come to the radio, they say, we're going to do something about this, we're going to stop this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and you get nothing done. Nothing but run your mouth. And then you're going to turn around and go through it again. You're going to go on the radio and talk about everybody else's business, the people down in your city, then you go ahead and leave it alone. When you leave it alone, crime rise again, then the first thing y'all say, oh, we're going to stop it. We're going to get this mess solved. You get nothing solved. You've been playing this mess for the longest time about what you're going to get solved in your cities. You ain't got nothing solved. You understand what I'm saying? So when the man talk about coming in your city to straighten it out, step to the side and let him do it. Because you can't do it. And if you could do it, you'd have been done it. I'll tell you a prime example. Let me give y'all something. Let me give y'all something straight and forward here. I'm in Baltimore City, and I'm going to speak for Baltimore City. Baltimore City have done and delivered what the hell they said they're going to do. And if you don't believe me, come to my city, and you'll see my city start to look like a ghost town. They done rat these suckers back. And Baltimore City is about the only one that I know to step to the plate and get it done. So we don't need help. And if we needed help, I would be here to tell you. We need it, but we don't. And if Trump want to take an estimate, time figure, and come here and just walk around, look, you can see we don't need it here, buddy. But I tell you what, the rest of them cities you hear about crime going on, and they've been talking for years about doing this and doing it, they ain't done nothing, you need to be there. Just as simple as that. That's all I got to say.
Yes, sir. I heard you loud and clear. Thank you much. Let me go to Say Cool. Say Cool?
John Bo. I don't know who the most confused, Marvin or Gene. Hey, listen, anyone who thinks that the black criminal class is going to lay their gun down and stop terrorizing our community, got another thought coming, because they're not. That's not what the criminal class does. Every chance they get, they're going to rob, rape, and murder their own people. That's what they do. It's up to us to put a stop to it. And as far as Bill Gooden talking about what we should be doing, he's right about one thing. We need to be arming ourselves and preparing for the worst. It's better to have weapons and don't need them than to need them and don't have them. Have a nice day.
That's a hard gospel right there, partner. That's for sure. But it's necessary. Mark?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm live. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's what these people are saying. You know, what you was telling us in Chicago about put the gun. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You don't need the National Guard and all that kind of stuff, but you do need to stop saying, you know, the governor is right on point. You know, meet with me and let's talk. Because keep saying murders are down, this, that, and the other, Larry, and they go by the 100,000 people per. It's supposed to be 5 murders per 100,000 people. Baltimore is ranked number 4 because we only supposed to have at least about 30 murders. We under 600,000 people a year. So the message has to change, man, because no, the lawlessness is up. You know, so we got to stop playing into the Republicans' hands, because they're telling Donald Trump, the ones in Annapolis, that the Republicans, that are all these silly laws and stuff, that even Senator Corey McCray said is backwards.
All right.
That's what he's getting.
Just want to give the family a couple of quickies for news notes. Morgan State University receives $1,750,000 grant to train the next generation of doctors. They're going to set up a program there at Morgan dealing with health providers. So I'm really congratulating them. That's been fantastic. Also, Mark, this the week we getting ready to go into the football season at a big time. The Thursday night, but for us it's Sunday night. Ravens star safety Kyle Hamilton gets a contract extension. So now we know we got a solid one. I'm telling you, the way I look at this team, I'm beginning to believe we do have a potential of taking it this time, Mark.
I do too, Larry, but we can't lead ourselves, man. We We should have took it the last 2 years, but we beat ourselves.
That's true. That's true. Well, Devontae says the same thing. We beat ourselves. And
We do.
we'll have somebody who will be able to give us some sports when the season starts. Really starts this coming Thursday. Also, I want to lift up the governor, our governor. Governor Westmore
right.
wants the federal help on crime, but not Trump's way. He
There
wants
you
some
go.
help. He wants some
There you
help,
go.
but he's not.
That's
He don't want it Trump's way. But
That's
all right, Sean is giving me the sign to slow down in the next 30 seconds. So I'm gonna do just that. You keep in mind,
Yes, sir.
those of you who want to go to the circus, you can go out to the Circus Security Square Mall and get your tickets. The tickets as low as $25. The shows at 12, the show at 4 o'clock. Hope to see as many of you there as you want to go. In the meantime, have a safe, enjoyable Labor Day. And all things being good and equal, we'll be back with you next Monday. And of course, Tasha Fitzgerald has got double booked, so she won't have her show today, but she'll be back with us on next Monday for sure. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Mark, thank you. Talk to you a little later, man.
Thank
Peace
you.
and blessings.
Talking the